Welcome to the Unleashed podcast. If you're looking for a no BS approach to building a successful business, then this show's for you. I'm your host, Kristina Sjolund, sharing an unleashed, real straight talk approach to life and business. So buckle up, put on your big girl panties, and let's get started. Hi there, and welcome to the Unleashed podcast. I'm your host, Kristina Sjolund, and I am thrilled to have you here with me today. So I got a question. Have you ever had an idea that you just wanted to share with everyone? You were so excited about it that you could hardly even stand it. Or maybe you just knew that you had something special that could help other people advance, but you just didn't know how you could get it out there to anyone and everyone who needed it. Yeah, well, that was me. I had a lot of friends telling me that I needed my own podcast. Other people told me that I should be a stand-up comic, but no thanks. I don't think that I could be funny like on the drop of a dime. So, although humor's definitely gotten me through a lot of the crazy crap that happens in business and the absolute insanity that can happen in life in general, I had a mentor who I now call a friend said something that struck me. She said, Kristina, you got a unique way of handling life and different things that are thrown at you. I've not seen anyone handle it the way that you do. It's awesome, and I think you need to share that with others. So here I am, sharing with you real life, real strategy, really handling what life and business throw at you so that you can win. Because let's face it, winning is best, and it never ever gets old. And that growth and those wins are the path to personal mastery. So do you have a vision or a goal that you want to accomplish? You know, what is that? And I'm not talking laundry, because let's face it, that is never going to go away. And it may never be fully accomplished. I mean, a huge butt-puckering goal. You see it and you know that it's going to take a lot of work. You're willing to put the time into it. You're willing to make the sacrifices, but you're not quite sure exactly what those sacrifices are. But that goal, that vision is your destination. You just need the roadmap, kind of like a GPS, but you don't have to keep recalculating. What you need to really do is move forward so that you can start going toward that goal and that vision. So, personal mastery. It's described as personal growth and learning. It's your journey towards continuous improvement and seeing life from a different perspective. So if you're an entrepreneur, you probably feel like you think differently than most of your friends, right? Well, we're wired differently. Ultimately, personal mastery is understanding how you think, why you do the things that you do, and why you do them the way that you do, having a sense of clarity around your purpose and your direction in life. You're constantly learning and seeking out knowledge and putting it to work in your business and your life and realizing that success doesn't happen overnight. I don't know one person on the planet whose success happened overnight. I was an entrepreneur before I knew I was an entrepreneur. How many are like that? How many of you feel that you've always been an entrepreneur? You see that opportunity everywhere. I painted rocks as a kid and I sold them. I remember when I was 10, I used to ride my bike to the grocery store for a bunch of old people at the retirement center up the road from us. I made anywhere from $2 to $5 a trip. I washed cars, I painted fences, you name it. Those rocks, I sold them to all my friends. Everybody had a pet rock. Maybe you bought one. Did you buy one? So, you know, and my daughter, Whitney, she's 11, she just painted Pringles cans and sold them to all of her friends at school to use as pencil holders. She did it on a Friday night. We were sitting here and she started taking the labels off of the can and she put a blank piece of paper on it. She painted it and she drew pencils on it and she posted it on Instagram. She had 20 sold over the weekend before she even went back to school. We were a Pringles can pencil holder manufacturing machine. I think total, she sold like 28 of them. When she ran out of the Pringles cans, She started on the dog food cans. The poor dog couldn't even eat food fast enough because she needed more cans. So what I'm saying is that entrepreneurs are just wired differently. We see opportunity everywhere. We see opportunity in so many things that others don't. Why do you think so many people look down on network marketing? Network marketing is an easy way for people to have successful businesses with little or no investment other than time and or product. But let's face it, it still takes a lot of work and it still doesn't happen overnight, right? So how do we achieve that personal mastery? First, you got to start your day with gratitude. If you don't start your day, or if you don't recognize what you're grateful for, then you're not starting your day the right way. I know it sounds like it's a small thing or that you can put it off. Don't put it off. I don't just start my day with it, but I make references to many of the things throughout the day. At dinner, my girls and I, we take turns sharing the good things that happen during the day. And the thing that I love best about it is that when we sit down, well, a lot of times even before we sit down, they're fighting over who is going to share their things first. That is probably the only argument that I'm okay with hearing. But I want them to focus on the good things that happen throughout their day because it keeps a positive note all the time. And this is true for you as well. And if you start your day on that positive note, it really sets the tone for your day. If you get up and you get lost in the negativity of social media, then that oftentimes, that's where your mind goes. That's the motion and the mood that your brain gets set into. And who really needs that kind of negativity in their life, right? So you also need to set your goals. So when I start my day, I am gratitude, growth, and goals. And I've learned that, you'll hear so many mentors and trainers and, success gurus. They always talk about things, and it's very, very true. So after you do your gratitude, after I do my gratitude, I set my goals, and I got to be clear in my goals, and you've got to write your goals down. You've got to be able to see them. Create a vision board. Involve your family. Do family vision boards so that you can create a goal-oriented household. That's what we have here. My daughters, they write their goals on, my Whitney, she's my little entrepreneur. She writes her goals down on a whiteboard. Danica, she keeps them in a journal. And then I keep mine everywhere. I have them in a gratitude journal that I put everything in. I also have them on a whiteboard and I write them down in my daily planner. So as far as your goals go, you got to be very specific in your goals. Don't just say, I want to make 6 figures. As that can be a goal, you must be specific about it. So do you know how many people put a specific house or a car on their vision board and eventually, sometimes years later, they actually achieve that particular thing? I've actually experienced this myself. So I took a picture of a beautiful black Mercedes CLS about going on 2 years ago now. It was all blacked out. And I saved that picture in my phone. I have a file in my phone called Wants. It's sort of like a vision board. It's just a file. I totally had forgotten about it. And about a year later, I bought a new car. I wasn't really in the market for a new car necessarily, but anyway, I saw one and I was like, oh my God, I love that car. It was a black CLS 450, tinted wheels, black rims, all the things black. It was so awesome. And about a month later, we were looking through my pictures in my phone. We came across the picture that I had taken of that black CLS, a year and a half prior. I had completely forgot about it, and I actually brought it to fruition, and we were totally cracking up. So I told my girls, I'm like, that's where you got to be specific about your goals. But you also have to have measurable goals. How are you going to know when you've achieved your goal? You've got to track your progress. So is it a dollar amount? Track it. Some people write down like the thermometer thing. If their goal is to raise $50,000 or to save $50,000, they keep track each week. Keep notes. If it's money and you're stashing it, track it, count it. If it's an amount of something, you've just got to keep a tally, okay? Make sure that your goals are attainable. So what I mean by that is I have short-term goals, which are 1 to 3 month goals, medium, which is about 6 to 9 months, 1 year, and 5 years. Let's face it, if you have this huge goal to reach, but you don't have smaller ones in between, you're going to feel like it's never going to happen. If you're looking at this huge mountain and all you see is the summit, but you're not setting destination goals in between, you're going to look up there and you're going to feel like you're in the same spot because it doesn't look like you're getting any closer to it. But if you look back from where you came from, you'd be shocked. So celebrate your small goals. Why do you think? Here's a reference to the mountain climbing and the summit. Why do you think Mount Everest has so many camps along the way? Those are goals. That's your goal each day, is to get to the next camp. So, also the goals that you achieve along the way, those are steps. Those are part of your journey, and you're going to learn things along the way. You're going to remember things that you learned previously that are going to help you achieve not only those goals, but future ones as well, because they make you stronger. They make you smarter. They make you bolder. So your goals should be just the right mix of challenging, not too extreme. Those extreme ones, set those as your 1 year or your 5 year goals, because a lot of times when you just get in motion and you start working towards a goal, that 5 year goal a lot of times is going to be achieved in 2 years. Just move towards it. Be realistic about your goals. And what are you able to, no, let me rephrase that. What are you willing to commit to? What do you believe that you'd be able to accomplish? And that sacrifice, because you're going to have to make sacrifices to get it. So realistically, what are you willing and able to commit to? What do you believe that you'd be able to do? Let's take your emotions out of it. Okay, take the doubt. I don't want you thinking, oh, well, it sure would be nice if, or, if only I could. I want you to stop, because if that's what you see, then those are the things that are going to hold you back. But when you take out the doubt and you take the emotions out of everything, you're going to have a blank slate where you're going to be able to create your roadmap and write down your productive activities and what you're willing to commit to. And there is your roadmap to your vision. Let the fear go, let the emotions go, let everything go but your vision. That time frame, you've got that time frame that we talked about. Give yourself the specific dates to reach your goals. So remember how I talked about the short-term, medium, and long-term goals? So does it have to be set in stone? No, it doesn't. You can adjust, but do your absolute best to get it achieved. If you don't, it's not the end of the world, and it doesn't mean that you failed. It's just you've got to set your date different. You just got to reset that deadline. But when we set a deadline, it becomes a priority, so it helps us stay focused on the prize. But at least you're working towards it. Move it a little bit. If that happens, don't sweat it and don't walk away from it. Don't ever give up on it. Let's talk about prioritizing. So that is where I get really hung up. I have to have a list because I am a procrastinator. And if I don't have something written down in front of me that I can check off, I am a hot mess. And I will forget a lot of things. So a list is so important because I have to see what it is that I need to do. It's kind of like my grocery list. So, I don't know about you, but when I go to the grocery store, I can sit here and I could have 5 things that I need at the grocery store. I've learned that if I don't have them on that list, I can have it in my brain. I can think, oh, it's just 5 things. I can remember that. That's easy. And then I get to the store and I park and I feel like I'm still winning because I still remember all 5 things. And then I walk through the grocery store door and it's like I walked into some vortex where it sucked all 5 of those things out of my head. And then I'm like, oh my God, what did I come here for? I can't remember. So I have to have all my stuff written down where I can either cross it off or put a check next to it. So, that's how I feel accomplished. So, and here's how I do it. I do a brain dump. I write down everything that I need to do, no matter how big or small, everything. And then I prioritize it. I've got a business list and I've got a home or a personal list. I take the 3 most important time-pressing things and I put them as my top priority. And those things need to be done today. No ifs, ands, or buts. The next 3 things go on my medium priority list. And those things are the things that need to be done within the next couple of days. If I don't get to them today, it's not a big deal. And I'll put them on that list for tomorrow. But tomorrow, they're going to be my top priority. So I have to get them done tomorrow. And then there's the rest of the stuff. And remember, I love checking things off the list. So even if I did something before I created the list that day, I still write it down and put a check next to it because it makes me feel accomplished. I love seeing those check marks and that makes me feel like a sense of productivity. And it's a win for me. So again, those top 3 things, I've got to get on those. Those are crucial to my checklist for the day. And then the next 3, those medium priorities, I try to get those done as well. And if I don't, no biggie, but they go to the top of the list for the next day. And same with the rest of the list. And I try to get that list done by the end of, all of the things that are the low priority. I want to be able to have those done within the week. Now, if you've got laundry on that list and you don't move that up, it ain't never going to get done, okay? So whatever you do, don't allow your top priorities to slide to the next day unless it's absolutely completely out of your control, but it changes your whole mindset, especially do it for a week and see how you feel at the end of that week. You're going to feel so dialed in and focused. It's awesome. Maybe all the things that we talked about today, they seem like they're really super simple, but I can tell you this. Sometimes we can let the simple things slide and then we start to overcomplicate things. All we really need to do is keep our focus on our goals. And that's what's going to move you forward. That's going to create that accomplishment. That's going to create those visions to start becoming more of a reality. So I got something for you guys today. Go to KristinaUnleashed.com, grab your free download. It's called Your Guide to Unleashing Your Personal Mastery. Also, go join our Kristina Sjolund Unleashed Facebook community to get business and life inspiration and tips to conquer those dodgeballs that are thrown at you. And always, always remember, you are absolutely not alone. I look forward to our connections, and that's what makes the world move forward. So let's go move it. Now go unleash yourself, guys. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you for joining me today on the Unleashed podcast. My hope is that you leave this podcast feeling inspired, fired up, and ready to take the next step to living your dream life. And if you could do me a quick favor, please leave me a 5-star review over on iTunes. I love reading the reviews, and each week I'll choose one special person to win some Unleashed swag. Make sure you add your name to the review, and I'll reach out to you if you're the winner. Thanks again for spending your time with me today. Be sure to visit me at KristinaUnleashed.com for past episodes and more gifts to help you unleash the most successful version of you.